let's get started. First, I'm gonna paint the entire background black. Now, or not black, I keep saying black, but it's gonna be blue. Now, it's gonna make painting his body a little bit difficult, but I don't wanna have to paint around it. So we're just gonna go with the flow and see what we can get done. It is so gonna be adorable, okay? So let's grab our Prussian, and I really, honest to goodness, intended to paint the sides before we got started, but it just did not happen that way because I went to have dinner and we spent a little longer at dinner than I anticipated, and I didn't quite get there, but that's okay. Hello, my little Cajun friend from Louisiana. We are gonna get our sides first. Chauvin. Chauvin or Chauvin? I guess that's you saying Chauvin. I like that. Very nice, Chauvin. So I'm gonna start with my sides. I think I'm gonna grab a little of an ickier brush because this one's nice. And that blue is never coming out of here, is it? Chauvin. Okay, so I'm gonna go into my blue and I'm gonna hit these sides first because our piece is gonna be dark. So we don't wanna keep these sides white because that won't look pretty. Chauvin with a V. That won't look pretty, and since we are gifting this piece to someone who sprinkles our contents and lets their friends know, we don't want to send them a jacked up piece of art now, do we? We don't want to send them something that we weren't carefully and properly painting. So we're going to get our sides. Oh, the rain has begun. The rain has begun, darling. All right, so we're gonna go here. We're just gonna get these sides. I know this is the boring part, so somebody tell me a story. This is kind of boring, and I promise I intended to get this done before we started, and it just did not happen that way. We just got back here from dinner just in time, and I had to prep, and I found that piece of art when we walked across the street to have dinner, and I saw that piece of art tucked away in the corner. It's a deluge. I'm not surprised. And I thought, how in the world did that get there? So I had to post that as well. So let's just get the blue on the sides, and then we can focus all of our attention on our little sheepy. All right, so almost there. One more side. Smooth that out. One more. And, whoop, be careful. I like to make sure when you have those seamed corners, I like to make sure there's no white peeking through. So just to make sure, because that's not pretty to me. Says the girl who doesn't even resin the sides of her canvas. But we all have our idiosyncrasies. Mine is the paint. Okay, so that is done. So now I'm just gonna cover my entire canvas, and hopefully it will just take one coat. If we can get it nice and even, well, gosh, I'm gonna need more paint than that. Hey, Emma. How are you, love? We're gonna get it on, then we're gonna kind of try to smooth it out a little bit. We're gonna get it dry. We're gonna add some snow. Then we're gonna get started on our little sheep. Hopefully this first coat will be enough. I'm gonna stand up so I can see it properly. I'm gonna go sideways or kind of diagonal and pull in the same direction. Start from edge to edge. So if you start here, you're making a hard little knob. I don't know if you can see that little bare spot, but if you go from edge to edge, it smooths out a little better. So I think that's gonna work out for us. I don't really want to put this in. I'm going to stick that in another bucket. Look at all that paint I wasted. I'll stick that back in there. I'm going to get this dry. Hey, girl. Glad you made it. We're going to dry this with our heat gun. Becky, I do that all the time. Call Siri, Alexa, and Alexa Siri. It's so confusing. Wish they'd get all their names straight. We're going to get this nice and dry. Make sure it looks nice since we're gifting this. Hey, Deborah. And then we're going to let it cool for just a second or two. And then we're going to add some snow. I don't know if you guys, how many here have seen me make snow? Oh, there's some wet there. Let me get that dry. I don't want it to turn into light blue snow. I'm blowing all my things around. Oh, Denise, I'm so sorry you have COVID. This is Prussian blue, Prussian with a P, blue. So how many here have seen me with, give me a thumbs up if you have seen me make snow with a toothbrush. Who here has witnessed that travesty? I love making snow with a toothbrush. Hey, Jody. Thank you, Leona. So I'm going to put some white on my plate. I'm actually going to use another plate so we don't intermix. Put a little white. Look at all you snowers. And I am going to use my spray bottle and just mist some water onto my canvas. I'm going to go ahead and just use my toothbrush to blend the water into my white so that I have a watery mix of white. Kind of runny. You see how it runs? You want it to be kind of runny. Now what I'm going to do is just tap my toothbrush on the side. So what I'm doing when I do that is getting all the big droplets off, okay? Now, you don't want to do this on your kitchen table with nothing underneath. This is something you're going to just, Betty, that came from Hobby Lobby. This is something you want to take a piece of cardboard, put it under your canvas, take it outside. Thank you, Michelle. Take it outside, and you're going to take your finger and you're going to run your finger across your toothbrush, okay? Don't get close. You want to be 6 or 8 inches from your canvas. The closer you are, the bigger spatters you're going to have, okay? So I'm going to be about 6 inches, and I'm going to run my finger over my toothbrush and make spatters. All right, let's get that off. We'll stick that in there. Check that out. That looks so super cool. Hey, Christine, how are you? Oh, the water makes it spatter easier. Oh no, Sherry, that's why I live in the South, honey. Arizona? What? Now I'm going to take my heat gun and we're going to dry these real quick so that we can move on. Thank you, Becky. We'll get our droplets dry. Didn't that turn out nice? Looks like, excuse me, looks like stars almost. We want those to be dry so they don't smear. And I believe I have some white. Hopefully this white is worthy of using. I have some white transfer paper. Now this is used mostly in sewing. So this is from the sewing department, from the fabric department. It was a whole package that came with yellow, blue, white, black, pink, I think. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get this out of the way because we don't want any of that spattering anywhere else. Thank you, Ella, for the stars. And I am going to take my cute little, let me get him situated. My cute little sheepy fella. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Here it is. And we're going to tape him down, make a little hinge so we can trace. Get two. Just a little blue tape. I'm going to tape it down, get it straight. Get it straight, lady. Tape it down so that we can trace on our template without making a hot mess. Okay, so cute little fella here. I'm gonna take my white. Hopefully there's something left on here. Last time I tried to use it, it didn't show up that great. We may have to do a second choice, but we're gonna try. I'm gonna start up here and I'm just gonna trace over his little snowy hat. And then I'm gonna take a peek and see if it's actually transferring before we continue. Because sometimes, I think I've had this white so long, that's just barely showing. Let me see if my black will work. I need some new transfer paper. Maybe I should ask Santa for that for Christmas. Let's try the black. Hopefully it will show up better. Oh my Lord. I just ripped the whole, look what I did. I ripped the whole corner off of that. Carol, you can find this in the art department or in the sewing department at most craft stores. So let's try this again. I'm gonna get a different stylus too. Yes, so let's go around. I tore right through that, and let's see if the black shows up better. I'm gonna just take a peek. We're gonna work with it. So I'm gonna go around his hat. We'll trace his ear. I'm cutting in to this transfer. I'm gonna have to re-sketch this for my people because this is being ruined. I think because I keep dipping my stylus into resin to pick out little things, and resin hardens on my stylus. Uh-oh, hang on. And then it's a hot mess. So let me see. Oh, holy mother. That does not show up very well, so here's what I'm gonna do. There's my white. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna take a white watercolor pencil, and because my white was all used up, I'm gonna just kind of sketch this out with my watercolor pencil or a chalk pencil onto my canvas so I can see what I'm doing. Let's do here, and we'll go around here for his hat. The black was too dark and the white was used up. So we'll just give him a little face, his ears, his eyes, and his body is just a big old fat sheep. There we go. We're going to use Starfire glass for that. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is paint the white parts, okay, because we're probably going to have to use a couple of coats. So I am going, let me set this aside. I'm going to paint the white first on the furry part of his hand, Santa hat, and on his body. So let's just get some white going because we're probably going to have Probably gonna have to have more than one coat of that. So we are just gonna get that going. All my brushes. We're gonna get that going. So if we have to do more than one layer, we can do other things in between. So I'm just gonna take, this is like a 1/4 inch flats. Well, thank you. Yes, Amazon is excellent for that too. And I'm just going to go around where I penciled that in, and we will we'll just paint over that section of his hat. Get that little furry Santa thing going on. It's raining. And then we're going to come down here and do the same thing. I'm just going to go around his face. And we'll give him a big old fat. We're going to do some extra details to this on the second coat, but for now we're just going to give him a big old fat coat of paint. My little sheep. And we'll let that dry while we work on other parts, so that by the time we're done with the other parts, we can do our second coat on this. All right, so let me rinse. Hang on, fill that in a little bit better. I'm gonna rinse this. Thank you, Cheryl. Where's my paper towel? And I am gonna go ahead and get the red on his hat. I feel like I got his hat a little off. We'll fix that. So this is cherry red. Any Christmassy red will do the trick. I like cherry red. I'm gonna turn this a little and use that same brush. Just come in and paint that hat red. This looks like it's gonna need more than one coat too. This is why sometimes I will paint my background, paint my foreground first, and then come in and paint the background. Because otherwise, just like this, I'm gonna cut that in a little. You end up having to paint so many coats, but so be it for now. Well, there's a little bit of something going on there. Going over this dark, a little harder. I had to be quiet for a second and hold my mouth right. You know that works. All right, so we're gonna let that dry. Oops, forgot about the little ball on his hat, didn't I? So let's grab, I'm just gonna grab another brush so I don't have to worry about that red. And we're just gonna do this little ball on his hat. Now what I'm gonna use for his face and his ears is, this is Anita's charcoal. I wanted like not a black, not a brown. We're gonna do a little bit of shading, but the first thing I'm gonna do is just paint his whole face with this charcoal gray. All right, so let's just go into that. Get it all in your brush. We'll start with these ears. And right now, it's almost like just coloring in a coloring book, because we have our design. So now we just have to fill the color in. right? All right, so we're gonna come around his little chin. Oh, I've got that a little too close to me, don't I? Let me see if I can't turn that up. We're gonna bring some of that white down on our second coat. So for now, we're not gonna worry about being tight. Not gonna worry too much about getting it all the way up. And get his whole chinny chin chin. And we'll get that ear. Now don't forget, if you just got here, don't forget to sprinkle for a chance to win. Come back and let me know you sprinkled. All right, that's a great start. That's such a good start. Still got it a little too close to me, don't I? I need to turn it this way. There we go. Let's check that and make sure that's all right. How's that? I think that's way better. Way better. Okay, so now for, let me see. For his body, I think I'm gonna grab a little bit of this is called Drizzle Gray. It's kind of a greige, kind of a gray beige kind of color, because we don't want him to be super white. We want him to have some interests. So we're gonna fill him in with, on top of the white, with the gray, with the greige, the drizzle, and then we will come in on top of that and kind of give him texture with some more white. So I'm just gonna get this on. I think I'm gonna do about half of his body. There are some little boogie thingies in here. Now don't spend too much time on his body because we are gonna add glass to his body. But I still like it to look nice so that you have the option to add glass or not. So we're just gonna add that greige gray. Oh goodness, we'll fix that later. I'm gonna offload onto my napkin and I'm gonna grab up some whites. And I'm just gonna make some little, wipe it off. Just back and forth. This is gonna have glass, so don't overthink this too much. Back and forth. Now we're gonna come back, do the other side. With the gray, greige, whatever you wanna call it. Let's get right up next to his chinny chin chin. Let me get that off. I'm gonna go into my white again and we're just gonna make crisscrosses until it gets to over blending. Then grab up some more, crisscross, wipe it off, grab up some more, crisscross, grab up some more, crisscross. All right, so pretty happy with that. There is going to be some, I'm gonna go in just with the tips of my bristles because I can't leave well enough alone. And I'm just gonna make him a little fuzzy on the edges. So I'm working from the inside of his body, from his body out to the edge, and giving him a little bit of a furry kind of look. So inside to the outside, inside to the outside. And just kind of furry him up a little. So he's not perfectly shaped. Hard line shapes. That's way better. Look at that. So much better than the like completely perfect little circles. All right, so now I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm just gonna add a little bit of gray to the middle of his Santa hat fur. And then I'm gonna come into my white again. And we're gonna kind of do the same thing. I'm just gonna start from the center and just push out, adding that second coat of white and blend in that gray in as well. Just so it has more of a fuzzy look and less of a hard line. Does that make sense? Does that make sense at all? Sometimes I have a hard time. It's like I know what my brain is thinking, and we're probably gonna have to redo that when we redo our red because I got ahead of myself. It's like I know what my brain is thinking, but articulating it is a whole nother story. All right, I'm gonna grab a tiny bit of that gray, just kind of pounce it in to the center so it's not just a perfect white. Right there. How do you like that? Super cool. I'm gonna go ahead and hit that red again. Let's rinse. Who wants to be gifted this cute little fella? He is so stinking cute. Let's go into our red again. I'm gonna start up here where I don't have to manipulate it so much. And just get that red on. I'm trying to get that red close to his hat without getting into that too much. We may have to just do a little bit of touch up. That red is not wanting to cover well, especially over the top of that dark blue. That's all right, we'll get there. Now I'm gonna take just a tiny drop of black, I think. Yes. I'm gonna take my red dirty brush. I'm gonna get a little tiny bit of black right on the corner. I'm gonna brush that through so it's kind of blendy. And where the bend is in his hat, like right here at that curve, I'm gonna take the black corner and I'm gonna come up and along and just pull that towards the center and do the same thing on the top to give his hat just a little bit of dimension. So while I'm doing that, I'm gonna offload, dirty brush, other corner, little bit of white, blend it in. And I'm gonna do that same thing with the white on the opposite side of his hat to give it some highlight. Can you guys see that? See the difference that makes? So stinking cute. So you got a little shadowing where the bend is, a little highlight on that side. Now let's work on his face. I'm gonna clean my brush up a little. Get that red out. And I'm gonna go ahead, I actually think I'm gonna use black. If I make a mistake, I feel like I'm gonna make a mistake, but I'm going for it. I mixed a little bit of that dark gray, which was the charcoal, into my black, because I just feel like the black is too black and the charcoal is too light. I'm just gonna blend those two together. And I am going to paint this side of his face. Let's just squiggle up into his hat. Squiggle up. Let's do it again, a little bit of black. I normally try not to mix colors together for you guys, but this was just like I gotta do it. Some people have a hard time mixing colors. So we're gonna fill this in. And while it's still wet, I'm gonna take my brush on my towel and offload. I'm just gonna wipe that off. And I'm gonna grab some of the, what color do I want? Remember this original color, the drizzle gray? I'm gonna get a little more on my plates, maybe. I'm gonna get it on my dirty brush, and I am just gonna highlight this side with that drizzle gray. So just bring it down and around his chin a little. We'll come right down his hats. Need a little bit more. It's blending in with the black and the other color that's still on our brush, making kind of a third, fourth color. We're just gonna bring that down. Let's offload. Still a dirty brush. Hey, Carrie. I'm gonna grab a tiny bit of that black. And I am gonna come down this edge with the black. Hang on, I got a piece of glass. Got a piece of glass stuck on my table that is hindering me. Okay, so I'm also getting stuff all over me. So there is the face. He's got a little bit of highlight, a little bit of shadow. Feel like he needs a little more. So I'm gonna come in with that drizzle gray, and I'm just gonna give him just swooping in color, just a little more of that drizzle gray, so he's a little lighter. Now we're gonna do the same thing to the ears, but a little less worry about that. So I'm gonna take, I think I need one more drop of black. Little tiny drop. Okay, so I'm gonna take the black and some of that gray, blend it together so we kind of have a dark gray. And I'm gonna come around and hit those ears again. And black and a tiny bit of the gray. Again, I'm kind of focusing on the bottom part of the ear for now. Offload that, get some of that off. I'm gonna grab a tiny bit of white, blend it in to make a pale gray. And we're just going to, I'm gonna scooch right into that hat and then just kind of make like this, a little flat U in his ear. Brush it in. I'm gonna come around that edge and kind of just make a U. And let me look at that, hang on. He is so stinking cute. Here's what I think I'm gonna do, just for fun. I'm gonna take a tiny bit of that red over here and a little bit of that white. A little more white. See how I've come up with a little pink, and I'm just gonna add the tiniest bit of that pink right under his ear. Not too much. I'm seriously digging him so far. Okay, I'm gonna stop here. Look how cute he is. Oh my goodness. Super, super cute. I'm gonna dry him because I do want to add, I want to use my pen on him, my little highlight pen, and give him some pizzazz. So let's dry him up and then we'll do that and start with our glass. Isn't he cute? These white bits down here. Gonna take a few minutes because they are, Lynn said he would love to live in Michigan. He's so cute. Yeah, he's gonna get eyes in just a minute. Want to get his body dry and let him cool down. I'm actually going to use a marker for his eyes just because it's easier for me because arthritis in my old lady hands gives me fits sometimes. So as soon as this cools off a little bit, I'm just going to give him some eyes with my marker. And this is a graphic brush marker, which means it's kind of like a calligraphy pen. And then for the details, we're going to use the graphic needle marker. Okay, let's see. All right, so I'm going to give him eyes, and I'm just going to make a line across and then down. Hang on, across and then down. Across and then down. That's the best I got for eyes. Hang on, I'm gonna tilt it where I can see it a little better. The glare is a little much. Now I'm gonna use this to outline his hat and his body just a little bit so you can kind of see. I think I am. This marker feels like it's trying to die. Let me grab a new one. This one wants to be laid to rest. Let's see what I have. Do I have a 5? I have a 3. Let's try the 3. We may have to use it. So this is just a very, very fine point marker. We're going to use this on his eyes as well, just to highlight that. And around his, you can see what I'm doing right around the little pom-pom on his hat. Then we're going to come around the red part of his hat, right around. Then we'll just give him some fuzz. Around that ear, get that little pink that turned out not really to be terribly pink. And then we're going to come around and just make some marks around his body. So I'm going to show you that close up so you kind of get an idea. Just, it's super simple, but it does kind of make a huge difference. See that? All right. So now I'm going to have a sip because my throat is so dry. Okay. So now I'm going to use Starfire glass, which is crystal clear. And I'm going to add that. Oh my goodness. That was water. I'm going to hit that with a dryer because we don't want water and resin together. All right. I'm going to take some glue just to kind of keep things in order. And I'm just going to kind of squiggle it around his body. Kind of helps me stay in line. Then I'm going to take my Starfire. I'm just going to pour some in my hand. That way I can micromanage some of these pieces like this that are just way too big. And I'm just going to start adding them to this cute, act right now, this cute little body. And we're going to do something on his pom-pom too, so don't let me forget that. Don't let me forget his hats, his hat ball. All right. Scooch that in. Let's go a little more. Starfire, it's my favorite because it's super versatile. Whatever you paint, it shows that color underneath. You could paint any color, then use Starfire, and what you see is the color that you painted and the sparkle that Starfire gives you. So it's one of my faves too, and it's super fun to use too because you can just get Starfire and then you can dye it whatever color you want. You tuck a little piece into there. We'll come over here and finish this out. Got a few pieces, they're a little big. Few baby pieces here and there. It is raining its little tail off right now. Okay, that is super cute. We'll throw that little piece since it's in my hand. Go ahead and throw those on. Need to get rid of that piece. It's stuck. It's resined to my table. So let's put something here too. I have a couple of options. I have a pearl, which we could just glue right there, but it seems a little small. Then I have this kind of acrylic rock, and I think it kind of looks small too. So let me see if I have something a little bigger. Look at this. That is better. That's the perfect size. So I think we're ready to resin. What do you guys think? Are we ready to resin? Give me some hands. Throw me some hands. Are we ready? I think we are. Let me get rid of this. Let me grab my gloves. And throwing things everywhere. Is that not cute? Y'all, somebody's gonna get this. Somebody's gonna be gifted this for Christmas from us here at Art Shattered. Ugh. Hang on. Hang on. Any cutes? So I think I'm gonna mix 1.5 ounces. I do have stuff to resin. I ought to mix 5 ounces, but I hate over mixing. Really think 1 ounce is enough, but I'm gonna mix 1.5 ounces. The last message was from the guys. That's hilarious. So I'm gonna mark 3/4 of an ounce on this cup and 3/4 of an ounce. Does this fan work? Oh my Jesus. Oh, 3/4 of an ounce on this cup. We're gonna pour some resin. I'm gonna scoot this up because all I have right now are big bottles, and I wanna make sure I don't have spillage. So I'm definitely not going to mix it or measure it over the top of here. So I'm gonna start with my hardener, and I'm gonna make 3/4 of an ounce. Almost there. We'll stop and let it grow. Let it grow, let it grow. I think that is gonna do it. Now we'll use resin. I'm going to swap these because I'm right-handed and that's closer. So we'll use the resin. This comes out a little faster. Slow down, Cindy. Let it grow for a second, because if you just keep pouring to the line, the next thing you know, it's over the line and you have too much. We don't want to do that. All right, so I'm going to mix in my mixie cup. So I'm just going to take both parts and pour them into one cup. And we'll mix it all in that cup. Are you here, Catherine, still? Or Becky, somebody? So all you have to do to have a chance to win, I shouldn't say win, I'll probably get docked for that, to be gifted this cute little Christmas lamb, Christmas sheep, is go to your page, sprinkle all this information, let your friends know about this page that you're on and all the wonderful, beautiful, cute Christmas fun we're having over here without them. Then come back and tell me you did that. And we are going to put your name in the hat. And tomorrow, when we go live, we're going to pick a gifter. Okay, so now I have to mix this resin for 3 minutes, okay? So I'm gonna start mixing, and I'm just gonna use my stirrer to just mix, scrape the sides, scrape the bottom, and mix, mix, mix. So right now, I'm gonna take this opportunity to see if there's anybody out there who is interested in our Thursday cross marathon or our Wednesday cross marathon. This cross here, we're going to be doing live on Facebook tomorrow. You pre-order the cross by midnight tonight on our Facebook page or on our Art Shattered website. Pre-order the cross, and we are going to make each and every cross live on Facebook tomorrow night in order of purchase. So you'll get to pick between, thank you, Judy, you'll get to pick between a blue cross and a clear cross. I gotta make sure I don't get resin in that hole. A blue cross and a clear cross, and then when it's your turn, we'll call your name, let you know we're working on your cross so you can watch us. You'll get my undivided attention as we make your cross. That is Wednesday. Deadline is midnight tonight. I think it's about the same, Jody, depending on what you're doing. You know, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. This is our Thursday project. Same deal. You have to pre-purchase the cross. It is $39 with free shipping. This one is $49. You pre-purchase before Wednesday at midnight, and on Thursday we're going to make these crosses live on Facebook. So you have a $49 free shipping and a $39 free shipping. This one's a little rustic. This one's a little more fancy. I don't want to say fancy. None of them are super fancy, but it's a little more chic, I guess. It's a nice white and gold trim with that cute little cross on it. So we'd love for you to join us. Go to artshatter.com, click on crosses, and then choose your large cross or your small cross marathon. And then you can pick your color. The tool I'm using is called a silicone applicator, and it's literally made for makeup. It started as a makeup tool. You can get them at Hobby Lobby now in the resin area where you can buy resin and stuff like that. And you can get them in the makeup department at most dollar stores. Also on Amazon. It's called a silicone applicator. Oh, Jenny, that's so sweet. What is stopping you from learning? You know we have a low-cost membership called Just a Little Bits, where you get access to one workshop a month. You should give that a try. You can find that on my artshattered.com website as well. You should give that a try and see if this is something that you really think you want to do. Catherine says time. So I'm going to give it one more scrape across the bottom and the middle. I'm going to move these out of the way so I don't make a mess, because I could be a messy girl. And I'm going to grab my other blocks. And where is my other block? And elevate this. I'm going to put that in the middle for now. I'm going to elevate my canvas. So just slung that so that I don't make a mess. I don't know if that will cover the whole thing or not. Yeah, it will. I'm going to stick that under. Oh, I'm going to put this aside for now. And don't let me forget to put it back on. I'm going to bring this towards me just a little. It's a little far away. And the first thing I'm going to do is my glass. So I'm just going to take my applicator. I'm going to drizzle my resin on my glass all the way to the edge. We're going to cover this glass really well, so it goes from the top of the glass all and drizzles and seeps through all the crooks and crevices and glues all the glass to each other and to our canvas surface. So we're going to do that. And we're going to work from right to left so we are ensured. I'm going to go all the way to the edge of my canvas. We are ensured, and you can see how the colors are going to start to really pop once that resin hits the gray and the blue and the red. So let me get myself working that way. I don't want to get ahead of myself, because then I'll miss a spot and be mad at me, because I know better. Drizzle, drizzle. Rain, rain, go away. Y'all, I swear I feel like I live in Seattle or something. It's been raining so long here. Hate it. It's just dreary. Okay, I think we got all our glass. So now I'm just going to scooch all the way to the edge. Just going to use the corner of my little applicator, pull that to the edge, and I'm going to drizzle here. And pull that out from the edge of the glass where it's starting to seep out. We'll use that bit to look how it changes. I'm going to use that bit of resin to fill in the rest of our canvas. Now I want to see how much resin I used, so hang on. Pull it out. I am going to put this on in just a sec. I want to get it covered. I'm going to go around my edge with my finger. Oh, you want to drip, don't you? All the way up. Then I'm going to put this right there on his hat. It's so cute. Hang on. And we'll drizzle over the top of that too, so it sticks down really nice and is covered. So it accentuates the pom-pom on his hat. That is so stinking cute. I'm trying to see I'm gonna make sure that's where I want it to be. Okay, it's covered with resin. Everything's covered with resin. I'm gonna grab my heat gun and I'm gonna pop those bubbles. I'm just gonna put a little bit of heat on to pop any bubbles that have appeared. It's pretty bubbly for some reason. Probably because it's a little cooler than normal in my studio. Aw, so cute. Oh, you'll always sell more smalls than anything else. So let me see how much resin I have. So I made 1.5 ounces, and I probably have half of that. We could have probably done 3/4 of an ounce or 1 ounce or less even. Just 1 ounce will be plenty to cover this piece. But I have plenty of stuff to cover. I have a whole piece to resin. So I'm gonna check my edges. Make sure I don't have a bunch of drippies. And let me show you this close up and personal. So stinking cute. So don't forget to comment that you sprinkled and let people know we're here. And we are gonna draw a name tomorrow and gift this to some lucky lamb.